Welcome back, everybody. Today's another episode of Will It Hot Tent. Today, we're using a beach umbrella. I added a stove jack. I got a new stove. Everything's soaking wet. It poured before I got here and while I was here. So, unfortunately, I forgot a lighter. I forgot anything to light a stove. But I found a book of matches with 7 matches in it. I got the stove stuffed with some wet birch bark and some wet twigs. We're gonna see if we can get this going with a few matches and warm up and dry out. Okay, first match did not work. Let's get some more birch bark ready. I have a pocket full of it. And the stove's full of it. All right. Burn count 1. So I'm hoping all the birch bark inside of the stove will dry out the wet twigs that I have in there. And then I can use some of the wood that I collected. This is the bag the stove comes in. I used my Hart chainsaw and went and collected a bunch of wood. This bag was really nice for collecting it. Oh no, my pocket's out of birch bark. I think we might have gotten it, guys. Now, as you can see, I have a tarp on top of this. This beach umbrella is not the most waterproof thing. I think it's more of a wind sunshade. I brought the tarp to actually put in front of me later on at night. Try to keep some heat inside of this and see if we can make this a hot tent, a beach umbrella hot tent. Not only did I forget a lighter, but I forgot water. So I am gonna have to boil some water from the creek. 2 matches, not bad. I think it's going now. I think we got it. My hands are freezing. Ooh, beers. Luckily, I got some heated gloves from Tom's Shoe. Tom's Shoe's today's sponsor of this video. I have heated gloves and heated socks. I'll be showing you those later. I need some water. I had to close that off as much as I could. The tarp is way too small for this beach umbrella. But at least I have something blocking this side right here. It's open over here and open behind you. My hands are warm from the gloves, but the rest of me is freezing still. I mean, I'm unzipped. I have another sweater right here. I could get warm, but I'm really hoping this stove will heat this space up. Right now, it's just not. I took the burner plate off, and this little tea kettle fits right on top, right in that hole, which is cool. But the fire is just, the wood's, it's just not getting hot enough, in my opinion, right now. We'll see if that changes as the wood dries out. But right now, I'm freezing. My hands are warm, but the rest of me is cold. These gloves are doing well. I have some leftover food from dinner the other night. I'm gonna cook that up on the stove a little later. I have a couple step 2s. I am not ready to start drinking those. I need to make sure that this is gonna get going and keep warm before I start getting tipsy. So step 2s, if you guys didn't know, is a reference to camping with Steve. Steve is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's going through a rough time right now, so go show him some support. Go watch some of his old videos. He did a video with a beach umbrella, but it was after I did my original beach umbrella video. So maybe he'll do a beach umbrella hot tent video as well. That'd be awesome. Everybody tell Steve to do a hot tent beach umbrella video. Water's boiling. It came out of the creek, so we gotta let that go for a little while. But finally, we got some heat out of this stove. Luckily, I got these gloves. I should really take these boots off and put the heated socks on, but I am just not, I'm not ready to do that. My pants are still soaking wet. I'm just not ready for the heated socks yet. I figured the heated socks would be when I'm getting into bed. But they may come sooner than that, because my feet are freaking freezing. Will the beach umbrella hot tent? Let me know in the comments down below your prediction. Do you think it will hot tent? Right now, I mean, I guess it's hot tenting. It's tenting with a stove in it. It's not hot tenting, because it ain't nowhere near as hot. I mean, you can still see my breath. It's cold in here. My hands are warm. Should have brought the battery for this jacket. I don't know why I didn't. A little while ago, I was sitting here and I was like, oh, I wish I had the battery. I'll set that down in the snow and let it cool off. Don't use your heated gloves as fireproof gloves, because that's not what they're meant for. I think my hot water's cold enough to drink now. Cheers. It's nice and warm. That helps warm me up. I took the gloves off. My hands got warm. My feet and legs are still freezing. It's the color of tea, but it isn't tea. And there's a bunch of shit in the bottom. Oh, God. Bottoms up. Let me show you what's in there. Yummy. I don't want to drink that dirt. Oh, you know what? It probably doesn't help that this teapot takes it from the bottom of the pot. But I really need water. Glowing red again. I have my hot cocoa up here drying off because I had that in the rain. It fell out of my backpack, and I was rushing to get the beach umbrella. When I was rushing to get the beach umbrella set up, I have a whole stack of wood on there now. That's a lot of wood. That's what she said. You can still see my breath, but less. I just went out to get a beer. I freaking stepped in the creek. Now my foot is really wet and cold. Here's the listing for the stove. I'm not sure why you'd ever want to hit your stove with a hammer, but I understand showing how durable it is with a hammer, but I think I figured out why you want it this durable. It's kind of funny, but I've never used a stove to open a beer. It's like Jenga. That sucked. I did it. Oh, excuse me. That's good stuff. So in case you were wondering, you can use your stove to open your beer. This stove really just isn't big enough for this beach umbrella setup. Well, I finally got pretty much dried out. and warmed up. Now I think it's time for food. I did end up closing up this side completely. Still have an opening over here, and there's a lot of cold air coming from over there. And you can still see my breath. My flannel is starting to dry out, but not completely yet. I would love to be able to put this on. At one point, I tried to put it on, and it was just soaking wet, and I just toughed it out. The gloves, these gloves came in clutch. They really helped out tonight. I did burn them, but I didn't burn my fingers. It's almost completely melted. It was really just a whole bag of leftovers. There's potatoes. Oh boy. Little potatoes, some broccoli cheddar noodles, pieces of chicken, and green beans. All right, I think this is hot enough. Cheers. It looks hot. Yeah, that's hot. At least the noodles. Let's try a potato. No! Burn count 2. Okay, that was hot. That one wasn't so bad. This is some Korean barbecue chicken. Oh, so good. Ooh, green beans. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 9:04. I'm like just getting warm. It took 5 hours, 6 hours to get warm. The rain really screwed me. I got soaking wet. Everything was wet. And the umbrella hasn't turned out the way I wanted it to yet. Dinner doesn't have to be fancy when you're camping. This is literally a bag of leftovers from the other night. Added a 1/4 stick of butter. And heat it up. Ah, that was another hot potato. Burn count 3. Guys, I'm going to finish eating this, and I'll see you for the next step 2. It's step 2, number 2. I usually use a lighter to open my beers, but since I didn't bring one this time, Bushcraft beer opener. Let's see if this works. Like a charm. Cheers, guys. That was awesome. You make it work, right? Ooh, that's cold. I was warming up, now I'm getting cold again. And my feet are still cold, so I gotta get those heated socks on. I don't have anywhere to put my feet without these boots on. Maybe they'll fit in the boots. They're like a half calf size. They don't quite go up to my knees. They're pretty close to my knee. They have a little pocket right here. And here's the battery. Now this is one thing I don't like about the battery. I had this fully charged last week. I've been testing these for a couple weeks now. And I didn't use them after I charged them. And then when I went to use them again, they were dead after 4 days of sitting. Not completely dead, but they weren't fully charged like they should have been. There it is in the pocket. I'll show you them once I get them on. They're pretty darn close to my knee. Hi, knee. These also have different power settings. Here's low, there's high. I like the high. I've only tested them on high, and they last about an hour and a half to 2 hours on high. There's only heat on the bottom, not on the top. Oh man, I didn't get my other boot off yet. Alright, the left one's been on since the last time I saw you. I just put the right one on, but the left one's hot already. Let me see if I can show you both of them. Both on. I have to say, heated socks are pretty cool. Now, you ain't gonna wear these walking around. They're meant to warm your feet up when they're cold. They're not meant to wear all day. I don't think the batteries will last all day. Maybe on low, maybe, but I highly doubt it. Now the right one's starting to get warm. But again, it's only on the bottom of your feet. With your shoes on, I've never worn them with shoes. I've been using them at home after I've been outside screwing around, right? If you have a reason to need heated socks for your kids' sports events, if you're out in the cold, I think these socks would be great for you. They're not work socks. They're not going to last for work. Oh, one big con about them is they're hand wash only. You can't machine wash them. I have stinky feet, so washing them is going to be difficult. I think that's stupid. I feel like they needed to figure out some way to make them machine washable, if that's even possible. I don't know. But they're hand wash only. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you guys are interested in heated socks or these heated gloves. These heated gloves really came in clutch tonight. I melted a few fingers on both on both gloves. At one point, the stack of wood I had on the wood stove started to smoke, so I quickly got all the wood off of there, and I touched the top of the wood stove by accident. I didn't know until I saw that there was melted fingertips, because I didn't know. Luckily, I didn't add to the burn count that time. Hot plastic on my fingers would have sucked. Oh, this is like the first time tonight my toes are getting warm. I'm going to enjoy this step 2, and I will see you guys when it's bedtime. Cheers. All right, guys. It's like, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I will see you in the morning for hot cocoa. I'm going to let the fire go out. Hopefully I can get it going in the morning. If not, it might be an iced hot cocoa. I should have put the socks on long before I did, because my feet were nice and toasty the rest of the night, and they were cold most of the night, so I really should have put the socks on earlier. So yeah, Outdoor Vital negative 15 degree sleeping bag. I'll be nice and toasty throughout the night. See you guys in the morning. Good night. It's 7:15. I'm awake. Good morning. All right, let's get this fire going. Get some hot cocoa. I stacked a bunch of split wood behind the fire last night, and I have it loaded with some wet birch bark. I really should have put some birch bark by the fire last night to dry it out, but I wasn't that smart. So let's get this fire going. Strike one. I have napkins in one of these pockets from Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin', not sponsored. No! Oh no! Come on. Alright, I get one more shot at this. And then there's no hot cocoa in the morning. I think we got it. Look at those 5 matches and 4 napkins. That almost really sucked. Like, no lie, I don't have a lighter. And that was my last match. I thought this would be clumpy from getting wet yesterday. It still feels like it's powder. I'm gonna do this from the top so I don't get the sediment. I go straight for it. It wasn't boiling. I boiled it last night for a long time, so I didn't have to boil it this morning. I just had to heat it up. But it's hot. Cheers. Going for it. One sip, everybody knows the rules. Oh, that's good. It's chocolatey. It's nice and warm. Zero flop. Zero flop. It's crispy too. Excuse me. I think it's in the 8s. Do I dare say it's in the 8s? 8.8. 8.8. There's the score. Cocoa in the Woods. 8.8. Cheers. Beach umbrella. Will it hot tent? Right now, I can still see my breath. If I could have closed this front off, I feel like it would have been much better. This half of where the wood stove is, this half was rather warm last night. Once I got the fire going very well. I struggled with the fire last night. Like, struggled. It was rough. I was wet. Everything was wet. And it was cold. It was cold last night, guys. It was a cold night in the beach umbrella hot tent. It's kind of warm this morning. Like I don't know what time the socks went off, but they helped. I should have put those on much earlier last night. The heated gloves, they came in clutch. They really helped. And so did the socks. As soon as I put them on, my feet were much better. Will it hot tent? I may have to revisit this, but last night it did not hot tent. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Will It Hot Tent? Let me know what you want me to try next for Will It Hot Tent series. I think this was awesome. I really want to revisit this and make it better because I think the concept of popping up your hot tent with just a pole is pretty darn cool. But I didn't do it well enough last night. I should have brought another tarp. I really should have. But thanks for joining me on this one. I'll see you on the next one.